I just want to take it in here and just take in the moment that we're able to recreate John Dugan's original makeup, with nostalgia involved to the best of our ability. John was telling me that the man that made the makeup was actually a cosmetic surgeon. That's Toby Hooper hired a cosmetic surgeon to do the makeup, and there was a lot of science behind it. Now, I know that they did like a latex application. It was a sculpture on a life cast of you, and they made like latex appliances, and they glued them on using spirit gum, like a very old, an older form of prosthetic glue. He said it's awful.
It's like the world's worst adhesive.
Oh God.
And growing up, when I was 7 years old, and I figured out that this is what I wanted to do the rest of my life. I've been doing it for 44 years now. If I would have known it was going to be so uncomfortable putting this stuff on people's faces, I may not have done it. So over the years, I've slowly come up with techniques and things that will make people more comfortable wearing the makeup, right? Because when you want to go out in makeup and go out dressed up, you want to feel good and have fun. I always like to make people feel sexy when they're in special effects makeup, So hopefully make John feel a little sexy there.
That's a certain level of kink of wanting to nail Grandpa.
So I'm not going to use the exact same tools and techniques that they were using. I want to do something. Hopefully we can capture the essence of what they did in 30 minutes, basically here. And it's going to be kind of a fast and furious kind of boot camp version of what they did. I'm just going to I want to take out some pictures here.
Here, do you want me to hold them here for you?
I just want to talk a little bit about the original makeup. I got you. Okay, here we go. So here's John sucking the finger of the lead actress, right? And it's basically him covered up in a rubber mask. Basically, they glued a rubber mask over his skin. They can make a move. I don't want to do that today because I love John, and I want to still see a little bit of John poking through the makeup. So we're going to do our best to kind of try to recreate that, but I don't want to cover up John completely. And here's another picture of John, sitting in the brown jacket with the tie. There you go, the famous one right there with all the prosthetics on. So I'm going to go in.
That was taken 24 hours after I sat down in the makeup chair, and I still had 2 more setups to do. Wow. Yeah.
Glamorous.
Yeah.
And then here's another tight shot of some of the details. You can see it's a sculpted an appliance here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something with cotton and latex, and not latex. I'm going to use silicone. The silicone is a little easier on the skin.
Okay.
And it's going to my silicone's going to peel off. I'm not going to put any glue on John's skin. So basically, I'm trying to do with the makeup that we're doing today is something that's a little more comfortable, quick, easy, and maybe we can make this happen and capture a little bit of nostalgia from 1975?
73.
It's 1973.
Let's get started. You ready? Now, if you're in the back, if you're around, there is plenty of seats up here. I want you all to be comfortable. I want you to come as close as possible. You feel free. I see you with the camera. You can get up here a little closer. We're good. Please, if you want to come up and closer and watch this, please. The Firefly family, we got some people back there also. Feel free to move up a little closer. We've got some seats here. Hopefully everyone wore the deodorant. Let's see how this jacket goes. I've got a short sleeve shirt and a pair of shorts, and I just really want to put them on. But panel guys got to look that way, otherwise it's just going to look weird, right? No matter if it's 89,000 degrees outside. So come on up. Now, I promise the first question as he's getting all this, he might be able to ask a few things, or Stephen may be able to ask as we go. Does anybody have the first question? Did you have one? Shout it. Hey, there we go.
One right here? All right.
So as a backstory, I'm a professional tattoo artist, but I'm
No.
very passionate about FX makeup, and I'm not going to be able to tattoo for the rest of my life.
Why not?
I might not be able to pull straight lines in like 20 years. I don't know.
I couldn't do it now either anyway.
I want to get into the FX industry. I don't know if it's difficult to do that once I'm older, or how long that process is.
Yeah, Joe, can you talk a little bit while you're mixing this maybe about getting involved in the FX or Stephen?
Okay. I know that, I've been around Joe for 38 years. 28, I'm sorry. And the biggest thing that he's given, the advice he's given out is take a class with someone who does this for a living. I know that there's besides Joe, like when he does do these conventions, there's Rob Berman. He's the son of the original Berman Industries, who his father did a whole bunch of Cat People, The Beast Within. And so he does classes around the country and sometimes overseas. And he is somebody that you can take a class with. I know he does weekend workshops and he also does weekly workshops. So like that would be my advice, or Joe's advice that I've heard him tell other people.
Well, for this, as a follow-up question to this as we go, is there a school that you recommend, Joe? I mean, I know Savini's got his school in Pittsburgh, and there's a few others. Is there one, and we won't get into all that, but is there like a school that you like, no, this school's a little bit better than others maybe?
Yeah, you know, I never went to school. When I was learning special effects, we had this magazine called Cinemagic. And you can Google it. You can Google Cinemagic issue number 6. And in fact, it's very well known among the special effects shops. I've even been to a couple of the big special effects shops where the magazine is like framed on the wall because it was kind of like our Bible. And if you Google Cinemagic issue number 6, there'll be 16 pages of the magazine there online. And it gives you step-by-step instructions to teach you how to like make a life cast of an actor, how to sculpt with the clay on the actor's life cast, how to make a mold of that sculpture, and then how to actually produce it in latex or make a mask out of it, which are basically the fundamentals of special effects makeup. And if you can learn how to do that, if you can do that, then you can start to experiment and branch out into all the other areas of special effects makeup. That's like my go-to thing. And I have a lot of people that come up to me and say, hey, my son or daughter wants to be involved in it. Where do they begin? I say, Google issue number 6, Cinemagic. I'm sure there's a lot of video tutorials on YouTube now as well.
That's a great answer. As long as I've been doing this, I've never had anybody be that specific, really, Joe. That is absolutely so cool. And for some of us out there, Famous Monsters of the Film Land, if we're old enough, Fangoria, a few of these other things, there's some wonderful, I'm a huge Fangoria. I have every single issue of the original run. I'm about to nerd out. I'm going to shut up right now. This is about you all. All right, who has our next question that we're going through? Yes, sir. Oh, no. Yep, she's got you right over there. Oh, unless we... By the way, Kathy, isn't she awesome running this microphone around? She is one of the best. There's about a few years ago, I would just, while we're killing time for a second, I was like, no, her. She's going to be near me the rest of the time I do this. She's fantastic. Go.
John, as your friend and former neighbor, would you please tell us and all these fine people the story about your day on set and the trunk full of iced beer?
So do you want to, can he talk,
Craig?
Is it Craig?
It is.
So is it okay if he tells the story real quick?
My old next door neighbor of mine.
John and I were neighbors for like 5 years.
In Louisville?
Indiana.
I flew on a red eye from Chicago.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. We'll come back to that in a second. All right. I promise we will get that question. But Joe said we're only going to have a couple, and he's not going to be able to talk, so we'll go back. All right. Who has a question for the people who can talk right now that don't have this shit all over their face? Next question. All right. Yes, right there. I think I saw a hand. You just raise them up. Don't be shy, folks. We're all friends.
I thought of a couple questions. I'm kind of deciding which one.
I'll give you both if you got money. Or a drink. A couple of you already owe me one. Keep going.
One question I have is there anything with beginner special effects artists that is kind of a common mistake? Like, the blood's too red kind of a thing. Is there anything like that commonly comes up that you have advice for?
You want me to? I can hold it for you.
Absolutely. Half the time when you're looking at a special effect in a movie and you don't know why it looks fake, it's because the color of the blood's wrong. And that's very important. It used to be like a big deal, like, oh, the color of the blood is incorrect. We gotta get this right. We gotta get this perfect. And nowadays, I think people are way too forgiving with the color of the blood. There are different colors of red food coloring. You have to be real careful. Sometimes you think, oh, this is red. This is standard red. But there are different colors and different hues of red. So just get the right one.
Absolutely, yeah. Fake blood is really easy to find all over the internet and extremely difficult to execute.
Well, there's a difference between arterial blood and venous blood.
Yeah.
Arterial blood is oxygenated and it's bright red, and venous blood is more muted and sort of brownish red.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. What's your next question?
Also, for beginning special effects artists, if I'm kind of wanting, I took a theater makeup class and we had a Ben Nye kit with the spirit gum and the latex and all of that good stuff. If I were to get back
Did you have
into it,
Polonia?
Non-flexible clothing. What we can add? Go ahead.
if I were to get back into it, are there any products, tools, brands that you recommend that aren't maybe Hollywood quality that'll break the bank?
Wow. That's a difficult question for me to answer because I'll be honest with you, I use only state-of-the-art materials. But like the material I'm using right now was specifically developed for Brad Pitt to have his prosthetics put on for
And it smells like shit, by the way. I'm standing over it right now going, is this what Brad Pitt smells like? Because damn.
I mean, don't sell yourself short. Use the best of the best if you can. Even if you use a little bit of the product, you'll understand why it's so important to go that route. Because it's just like the chef's kiss. It's the best of the best.
That's a really good question. Thank you. Awesome. I don't even want any money or drinks now. You're good. Your questions are too good. We have one up here, and then I think we have one over here. Yeah, I got you. Kathy's on our list.
So I just had a general question about movie making, and this is something.
Are you recording this, ma'am?
Yes, but
I have a general question about movie making, but I'm also trying to frame my shot as I was watching her do it.
that's what it is. But with the
Too much headroom.
with the changeover to LED lights being blue tinted instead of halogen lights being yellow tinted, have you seen that make a big effect on VFX work since then? Like, does it
Damn,
affect the process?
these questions are really good and specific, Joe.
I personally don't consider lighting whenever I'm doing my effects work unless I can tell that the person doesn't know what they're doing when they light it. And I've worked on enough films to know when the lighting person doesn't know what they're doing. I try to step away and let them do their own job. But the technology is so amazing nowadays. Even if you make a mistake in the photography of the actual effect, you can fix it in post. So, like I said, let the guy do his job. If he screws it up, fix it in post.
So it's interesting. John Carpenter's talked about this, and Dean Cundy have talked about this of shooting The Thing, right, with Rob Bottin. And Rob, they were talking about back to lighting. Yeah, but back to lighting, you're talking about that, Joe, of like Rob would build the most makeup or what the creature effect, and then put it in the dark. So I know we put light. No, there's too much light. They'll see the seams. And it was an actual argument on set all of the time about the lighting. Who's next?
Where's my next one?
I think we had a hand over there somewhere, right here in the green. There we go. Chef. So, hi.
So the question I had, it's more of a general type question, and I guess it may just be based on the artist itself, but whenever you're working, I know people use either latex or they use silicone. Are there certain pros and cons to using different materials, or are there different reasons why you would use one versus the other?
Absolutely. Silicone is going to give you latex is going to give you a very withdrawn, corpse-like appeal, which was actually very, very good for the original Texas Chain Saw Massacre. John's got great skin here, and I want to be able to take this off of him quickly, so I'm using silicone, because silicone will only adhere to itself, and it's going to be easy to take off John when I'm done here. So, and also, it has a quick working time. It's going to kick. This is already kicked up here, so it kicks in like 4 minutes as opposed to like latex. It takes a minute to dry. I'm going to sculpt a big. I noticed that the grandpa has a kind of a big bulbous nose, so I'm going to sculpt his nose. See, using this now that it's going to dry. If you wait until the right moment, it won't drip, and you can put it on him and just sculpt it like it's clay.
Good question. You guys enjoying this? I once again cannot believe it. All right, we got another one over here. We got the Firefly family. my lead. Why can't I say family? Hi. Shut.
What is like a
A little closer to your mouth, if you don't mind. This thing, I'm so sorry. We're trying our best. This is the only place we could put panels, and this is the. But if we have this off, you guys are going to smell really bad.
Everyone hear that? You're gonna get face paint all over the mic.
That's okay.
What is a modern movie that you've seen recently that really just blew you away? Like beginners have to watch this to
For makeup
understand.
effects.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even if it like blends CGI really well, are there any movies that are more recent that stand out to you?
It's a good question.
That is a good question. Wow. I'll have to think about that one. You know, they've advanced so much with the technology of makeup effects. I prefer not to pick it apart when I'm watching it and just kind of go with it. But
How do you do that though? How do you pick? Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
How do you all pick that apart without watching? Because I'm not a filmmaker, and I pick shit apart
yeah.
all the time. Like, no, there it is. There.
If you're in the business, then it's hard to be objective about any movie after you've been doing it for a living.
Yeah.
Because I did that. You know, my first thought was, oh Jesus, how many days it take to get that one shot? You know, that sort of shit. And it's kind of hard to let that go and just enjoy the story sometimes, you know?
Right. What about you, Joe? You're able to let it go?
For modern films, yeah. I just kind of let it go, unless it's super obvious that they've made a huge mistake. I tend to be very forgiving when it comes to special effects, especially in low-budget films. And I kind of like to give them kudos for like taking huge risks and doing stuff, even if it doesn't look perfect. Just doing something that's truly original. There used to be a time when making something that was truly original was something that we all tried to do. It was like important to do something truly original. I think that's what makes the Texas Chain Saw Massacre so amazing.
Right. Even as a novice, I mean, I'm clearly these are, but just as someone who's watched a ton of movies, has anyone seen Obsession? Okay, I know but I really liked it, and I love that YouTubers are now being able to do this. Which, if you'd asked me 2 years ago, I would have said that's some bullshit. And now, as an older guy, I'm like, oh, I'm so happy that you all are going to the theater. I don't give a damn what you're going to go see. So, but I really liked Obsession. But some of her makeup, if you've seen Obsession towards the end, is a little dodgy. And so you know what I'm talking about, Joe? Yeah, it's a little dodgy. In fact, it's right. It's just a little bit, and it's right towards the end as she's kind of progressed, and a little bit. And it's so dodgy. I'm actually was watching it going, is that kind of a nod to the Evil Dead in some of the blues and things in there? I think it is. Maybe, I don't know. If I ever get to talk to the filmmaker, but it still didn't take me out of it because I was listening to that going, I think I dated her more than once. Anybody else had this issue, or you dated him more than once? And I know that dude. I've met that dude a bunch of times. Right? Yeah, so if the story's good, you kind of lose it. Who else has a question? You got it right back there. Cool, dude.
My question is...
A little closer, if you don't mind.
My question is, with one of your effects, it feels like it's going to be not too difficult. Which one kind of became a pain in the ass?
Which makeup effect became a pain in the ass, even though you thought it was going to be too difficult? Today.
Say it again.
So which makeup effect you thought, shit, I'm reading the script, this is going to be easy, and then all of a sudden it became a huge pain in the ass?
This one. No, I'm just kidding.
I've got ESP.
Okay, I just wanted to talk a little, you know.
Go ahead.
When I put the ball cap on John today, it didn't fit. It was like for a small person's head, so it split in two, and I had to like fix it and put it together before we got over here.
I had no idea.
Johnny has a full head of hairs, you know, long hair, so you have to work with that challenge as well, getting under a ball cap. You know,
Joe, I just have a giant
yeah.
Go ahead.
So you know, you never know. It's like, but I do know this, that like I said, this is an amazing moment. It doesn't matter what happens. It's just amazing that we get to do it. And we get to do this all here together.
Absolutely, positive.
Almost done here. Take a look at what we got going on here. Can you see how the silicone already kicked and you made this nice droopy nose here? I was able to like put this here, and then if you do it correctly, right before it kicks, you can take it and you can pull his skin slightly. So his eyes even look more withdrawn. Can you see how that happened? I pulled the silicone, and then stuck it to his cheeks here. And you got this cap here. It's all kicked. You know, we got the wrinkles on the side of the face. I'm gonna go and fill in all the little cracks and crevices now. A little bit of silicone, then we're gonna paint this thing.
Woo! All right, who's got my next question here as we're going through all this? All the way over here. Gabby's getting her steps in today. I'm going to have to buy you another coffee.
Maybe.
Or some drugs. Oh, we got a kid now. Sorry. Say no.
I was about to say, I look young, but
Yeah, young. I'm just messing with you, dude. Go ahead. I know.
so I don't know if we kind of came in just a touch late, so I don't know if this came early.
Yeah.
What is the movie that inspired you to go into FX? Like, what's-
No, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, 1977. It was Saturday afternoon. It was 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and my mother was away with her friends on like a trip. My brother wasn't at home, and my father. I grew up on a 55-acre goat ranch in South Texas. My dad was splitting firewood on a splitter, and back then it wasn't like didn't have any safety features or anything like that. I don't know if you've ever seen an old-timey wood splitter, but with gasoline powered, it's just basically a big old metal knife going through the. So I couldn't help him with it. I was 7 years old, and my dad said, "Son, watch this. You're gonna like it." You know, my dad was my biggest cheerleader, and he knew I liked dragons, and he knew I liked dinosaurs. And it was afternoon feature. I sat down and watched Godzilla versus the Smog Monster by myself, and he knew that it was right up my alley. And he said, "Did you like that, son?" I said, "Dad, how did they do that?" And he said, "That's special effects, son. That's how they do it." And we watched the credits roll on TV together, and I guess that had been translated from like Japanese to like English. It's a special effects guy. It's just that when I grew up, that's what I want to do.
That's awesome. You're the first person in many years, over a decade, that gave me that example. It's a beautiful story. You know why it's a beautiful story? Because I was just telling somebody, guys, come. This is a shameless plug. Show and tell at 6 o'clock today with Bonehead Weekly. Thank you so much. We're going to be doing show and tell, and mine actually is about my son and I, of how we do that. John, real quick, what's the movie that made you want to become an actor? Not too quick.
I think maybe The French Connection.
French Connection. Bill Friedkin, William Friedkin, also directed The Exorcist.
Yeah, Gene Hackman won the Academy Award for Best Actor. He fucking kicked ass in that movie. And Roy Scheider as well. It was just, I had done maybe a play or two in school, but that's when I decided I really wanted to pursue it. He was an inspiration to me.
Did you ever meet Gene?
No, unfortunately, never got to work with him. No.
It's probably better that you did, and I've heard a lot of stories.
Oh, he was an asshole. He was rough on the set. That's well known.
But Google it, folks. Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
All right. Steven, were you into makeup effects and stuff before that? No? It just came with the partnership.
I'm actually an editor, so that's what I do. I work on all kinds of network television shows, and
He's being very modest right now. He has an Emmy for outstanding editing in reality television programming.
Wow.
Yeah, but what got you in? I know it's awesome. What got you into editing? What was the movie, or what was the? I'd like to say, what's the bug that bit you when I ask people?
well, I've been doing it since I was in high school. My high school had a TV program, and I took a photography class first, and I learned how to develop film, and I liked taking photography, taking pictures and developing. Then I wanted to be a director of photography, so I wanted to be behind the camera. But then somehow I fell into editing, where I felt that that's where you tell the story. You can go out and shoot all you want, but post-production is really where you start developing your story.
Right.
You pace everything. You can cut a film, and then just by changing the music and the sound effects, you can get a whole different feeling. And so that's where I felt like that's where, I did a lot of documentary. I've done lots of reality TV. I've done true crime shows. I've done horror. In fact, Joe and I have we're reworking on a film called The Summer Massacre. Back in 2012, we made this film. It's an anthology. We hold the record, like Guinness World Record, for the highest body count in a slasher film, for 155 kills. And John is going to be starring in it, and we're redoing it now because at the time, Joe does visual effects also. So at the time he was going to school to learn visual effects. So now what he does is he does his practical effects, and then we'll go back and we'll kind of like tweak some visual effects to make his special effect, his practical effects look better and that kind of thing. So we decided, because there's somebody out there that's trying to beat our record, that we want to go back and set a new record and also beat our own record. So we're working on that, and we've held a campaign on Indiegogo. We're also at our table, we're hoping to have people involved so we can, what Joe can do is we can have you guys take a picture in different like poses with screaming and stuff, and Joe will actually animate you. And so we want to invite people to break our record and be part of the Summer Massacre. And once we set our new record, we will have a actual certificate for you that we can order through your Guinness World Record. So,
and you guys are going to be here all weekend.
Yeah, we're
stop
gonna be
by
here all
the table. They're right over here in the thing, and just stop by, right?
yeah, so that's the thing. And if you don't catch us this weekend, you can catch us at terratunes.tv, which is Terratunes is a franchise that we hold. We made the first Terratunes back in 2001. In 2002, it was distributed, and it was the highest grossing micro-budget film at the time. It got into every Blockbuster, every Hollywood video when we had video stores, and we've made 4 sequels since. And our last film, Part 4, was released in 2024. So right now we just have physical media. Terratunes 4 is actually on Tubi right now. And so if you want to catch that, you can. If you want the original, you can buy the original also. But right now we're just holding on to our intellectual property because we're planning to do Part 5. And I'm also, besides going to working in the industry, I'm also going to law school because I feel like a lot of filmmakers get screwed over by distributors and that kind of thing. So I want to create a model for independent filmmakers to be able to successfully beat these distributors and people, from being ripped off. So
that is so cool. Yeah, go ahead and give it up for him. Yeah, the one thing I'm going to name drop for a second. The one thing, if anybody know who Charlie Band is, Full Moon Entertainment, I know you all know Charlie. Yeah, Charlie. He's been on. But anyway, if he taught me anything, and he's taught a lot of people a lot of bad lessons, but if he taught me anything, what do you hold on to? Your IP. You go bankrupt, you hold on to that. You go blah, blah, blah. He was talking about sold off the house, sold off the studio, but I always held on to my IP.
The biggest thing I find is you make a movie and there's a lot, very, very anxious filmmakers that want to sell it. And they just want it to be distributed.
Because they're broken in debt.
Yeah. But and you're willing, contact me afterwards. Yeah, whenever you make your film. You can find me on Facebook, Steven Escobar. If you decide to go with a distributor, you have to make sure your contract is solid because there's so many little tweaks in there that they're going to say, we're going to be able to sell your film, but they're going to take all the money that they've spent to sell your film and take that first. So they're basically saying, you're not going to make any money. We're going to make all the money, but you're not going to make a cent. And so there are ways to look at those contracts, and there's ways for you to negotiate with these distributors. And if they're not the right distributor, you can go to a different one. There's not just like one distributor. A lot of times, and this is what we found through Terratunes, is self-distribution is the way to go to be able to sell your own units because you keep 100% of the profit. Otherwise, you're splitting your profits 60, 40, 80, 20, and you're getting
60-40 if you're lucky.
Yeah. So, so that's just my opinion. I just wanted to throw that out there for anybody that does make films.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hold the microphone, or you're about to explain.
I'm getting ready to paint, and when I paint fast.
Excited? I've actually never got. I was really excited about doing this when we announced it. I was like, stand up there.
I just use this standard airbrush I get from Michaels.
Michaels?
I've used the same model.
I get a standard airbrush. It's a Pache airbrush. You can get it from Michaels. I got my first Michaels airbrush in 1989, and I've never changed it since. It's like a, what do you call it? Foolproof, right? So, eight and up. If you're getting started, this is a great one to work with.
Sweet. All right. Who has questions as he starts to do some painting? Who has our next question? Anything, or do you guys want me to be quiet while he does it? Yeah, go ahead. Right, we got your microphone coming right now. Ma'am, really quick before that question starts. Maximum Overdrive. I want you all to look at her. That is awesome with the Green Goblin in front of her scooter. Thank you so much for this today. I want to start. That's your son? So you're the one who screwed him up? I'm joking. I'm joking. That is awesome. Thank you so much. All right, go with your question. Oh, yeah? That's cool. All right.
She is the mother of Doomsday Trip, by the way. She's awesome. So happy birthday to you, ma'am.
Happy birthday.
My question is for John. John, what was some of your memories of the late, great Gunnar Hansen? What's some of your favorite memories?
While he's getting the brush ready, can you talk about your memories of Gunnar?
Yeah.
You want to talk about the positives or the negatives? Because I have a negative story too.
Oh God, no, I have nothing negative to say about John. He was a sweetheart. Like a gentle giant kind of character. He was highly intelligent, articulate. He was a writer. He went to he got his master's in creative writing from UT, and he just kind of fell into the acting thing because he was so huge, like I did because I was so small. But the first time I met him was in the makeup trailer, in the costume and makeup trailer on set, and they were putting my makeup on, and he was getting ready to use the chainsaw for the first time. And he put on an undershirt, and he had a series of holes across his stomach. And I said, "What's the T-shirt?" And he goes, "This is to remind me fucking half of when you use a chainsaw." Apparently, he got it.
Watch this. Oh my God.
So apparently, the last time he used a chainsaw, he almost cut his gut open.
Oh no.
So he wore that as a reminder to be careful with that fucking thing. And that was the first time I was spoke to him. And we became fast friends, and we were friends ever, to the end. My Viking hero.
Thank you so much. All right, who has our next question? Great question. Thank you.
About the trunk full of beer.
The trunk full of beer. Can you? No. Pause again.
I'm coming right behind you.
There we go.
Here I am with another one. For special effects makeup in your many years of experience, what are some things that you've had to learn that were unexpected that you've had to adjust to logistically? I'm thinking maybe an actor is allergic to latex and you got to rework something, or you said something about him not being able to talk, working around mobility and things like that for the screen.
Yeah, that's a great question. The technology changes all the time. So I would say probably one of the biggest obstacles I had to overcome was working with rubber and then switching to silicone. Because the two they don't play well together. Even though that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Like I'm airbrushing an alcohol-based makeup onto top of the silicone pieces. Because the only thing that will stick to silicone is silicone, except for this alcohol-based paint, if used correctly. And then I want to paint it with a water-based paint because that's the colors that they used when they originally painted him. I want to try to get back to that original color that they painted him with. So I'm trying to get to a place where I can paint him with those colors. So it's just little things like that. There's a lot of science behind it when you're playing with materials. As soon as you understand how well they play together, you can do whatever you want.
Thank you. Great question. All right, next question. The guy walked in with a chainsaw. Normally that would be weird.
I'm also gonna double.
See you, buddy.
Hey, Joe.
Yo.
Answer Craig's question about the beard. I arrived on a overnight on a red eye from Chicago to Austin, Texas, and arrived at about 6 o'clock in the morning. Kim Henkel picked me up at the airport, and he said, "You want to go to your apartment, or you want to go out to set?" I'm starting right now. I said, "I want to go out to set." So I get there, and it was the day we shot at the old house that was supposed to be their grandparents' house or whatever. And anyway, Paul Partain was sitting in his wheelchair with a little conversation nook of folding chairs sitting around him, and nobody was sitting in it. He was all alone because everybody hated him. And he had this big Cadillac convertible. Trunk was open, and he goes, "Sidewalk over here, grab yourself something to drink." And he had a huge cooler, like a construction site size cooler, and was filled with Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola, and tall boys of Budweiser. He said, "Get yourself something." 6 a.m., 6:30, whatever. I'd been on a plane all night. I grabbed a beer. Sat down with him. We became friends immediately. We stayed friends until, I didn't see much towards the end there, but we kept in contact, And he was a trip. He never dropped. He was pretty much a method actor. He did not drop character, so people just thought he was an asshole, a whiny asshole. But he was afraid if he dropped his character, he couldn't get it back. So it turns out he was just a really, really sweet guy. Soft-spoken, but he whined with the best of them, man.
Here we go. In the last thing.
I'll go with you. 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 I'd love to see it now. I had when we did Chainsaw 4. He and I had a scene together. He and I and Marilyn had a scene together. It was Renee Zellweger. And he and I got that lunch together. And I hadn't seen him in years. It was just marvelous to see him.
All right, cool. All right, we got to cut off. No more questions for John until we get painted. I see you.
So I wanted to ask the big guy, the painter.
His name's Joe too.
Joe Mama. I wanted to ask you. A lot of people get into special effects oddly early. I got into it when I was like 8 years old. Weird kid growing up, but besides
No.
that, yeah, I know, very shocking. But a lot of people get in it pretty young, and obviously you need a lot of reference pictures for whatever you're doing, and we don't always want to look at roadkill or true crime or maggots. So like, what are good, morally sound reference pictures that you would recommend for like different effects?
Now that is an odd question. Tom Savini, if you ever get a chance, has some really good answers about that in his time in Vietnam.
Yeah, no, I would highly suggest Googling the actual big images of the things you want to see. That's where I learned most of the stuff I did. Like Google's great.
Yeah, just don't do it on your work computer. That's my advice to you. My problem is I can watch anything, I can do anything, but I have no desire to see any. I don't know about the rest of you. I have no desire to see anything real at all. Anybody else like that? Like me? I'm 102 years old. I don't need that shit in my head. Don't want to see it. Life is beautiful. Go ahead. You got stories?
Oh, just about seeing things.
Oh yeah, but you work at help. Yeah, I can. No, I'm good. I'm out. Next question. Oh, who had the next question? There we go. Hello.
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 Hello. So I know you're doing this on a time crunch, but I was thinking, what's the longest like makeup session you've ever had to do? Like, how long have you had to sit there and just do this for?
I can answer that.
All right, real quick.
For
What's
either
yours?
one of you.
7 hours in the chair.
For what?
The original Texas Chain Saw Massacre.
7 hours for original Texas Chain Saw.
That was the first time it was applied. The second time, they got it down to about 4.5. So it was a huge difference. They were just finding their way, you know, the first time.
7 hours. What about you, Joe? What's the longest you've done?
Oh, they don't give me more than 15 minutes sometimes. Yeah, no, I couldn't answer that. Probably maybe a couple hours at the most. Maybe do some full body stuff. But yeah, it just depends. It depends how fast they need them on set.
Yep. That's a good question, though. For me, all right, who's my next question as we finish up here? Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Oh, I like your pink horse or dog. What is it? It's a dog? Does it have a name? Let's call it Grandpa. Don't ask. She's not seen the movie, has she? Dude, I was doing a Terrifier one. We're going to have one tomorrow. Anybody come to the Terrifier panel? We were doing it a few years ago at Scarefest, and there was a 4-year-old. And I was like, man, I thought I was a bad dad.
Oh, yeah.
At the panel. Like, oh, so I'm not that bad at all, no matter what his mother says. All right, what's the next question?
How many costumes has Joe done where he's got his clothes on?
How many what costumes? Where Joe has his clothes off?
Oh, yeah. Joe will get naked at the drop of a fucking hat. You know, he's got a great body and he's proud of it. But you really need to follow Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
Not this Joe.
But
No
you
one wants that.
You really need to follow Joe simply for his personal Halloween makeup and costume every year. It's fucking kick ass. And generally it's almost always naked. Damn near naked. So.
Just Google Joe Castro Halloween, and you'll see all his pictures.
Yeah, all you have to do is Google Joe Castro Halloween West Hollywood, and you'll see what everyone's talking about.
That's so cool. Absolutely. Follow those. Other questions as we're wrapping up. We got about 5 minutes. And he's almost towards the end. Oh, we got a question right here. She's getting the microphones in.
Is the silicone that you're putting on his face, is it activated with anything? And is it durable enough to put nails or safety pins or anything on? I do my makeup all the time.
Do you put a lot of nails in yourself?
I do.
We have such sights to show you, Pinhead.
But I've always
Even in hell.
But I've always used Mayron liquid latex. I never knew to use silicone, so I was wondering if
liquid latex and like a nail gun.
no, just like stop it.
I can't. They literally pay me to say goofy shit. All right.
So what was the question? One more
The
time.
question was: are you putting anything in the silicone?
Anything to activate
it, and is it durable enough to put nails in or anything like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't use it for nails unless you're trying to do something like where you're trying to do monster claws and you're going to scratch someone's face and you may have the nails made out of rubber or something like that. But it's I personally wouldn't use it. I would just use super glue to do the nails with. I think that might be the best thing.
Or the nail gun.
Or the nail gun. Yeah.
You heard it here first. He's the one that said it.
Then you wouldn't have to worry about the color of the blood.
That's oh, look at that! Did you see that? Yeah, look at her. I'm so proud of you. That was funny. That was really funny.
I work with what I got, Joe.
You've got a lot. What else we got?
Raise them high.
Raise them high. Do we have any more questions as we finish up? Or you guys just want to? Oh, I'll tell you. Oh,
I got one.
You're right over here. Right over here.
Coming.
You coming? It's coming. You don't have to run.
That's why I got the light up shoestrings.
Well, you do. Oh my God, your shoestrings are lit up. They will be lit up like I will be after 7 o'clock. Who's coming to prom tonight? There you can witness me lit up as well. Kind of different. John and I will both be lit up. Go ahead.
Let's put on a stick here and we're good to go.
Kind of a quick question.
This will be our last question.
Hey, joke out, man.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, we got it.
Go.
How often do you actually have to block eyebrows and facial hair?
Ooh.
I put Vaseline in his eyebrows here so the silicone won't stick to it, but it depends if I'm making a light cast to somebody or, it depends what's going on with the eyebrows. How often? I mean, I don't know. I like to use them as much as possible. I like to use as much of the real actor as possible when I can.
I have a really weird question. Oh, we have one more. Yeah, you have a question? What do you use to block out the eyebrows?
Well, like for this right here, what I do with John, I'm just using Vaseline.
Vaseline. Yeah. What is the weirdest thing that's ever happened when you're buying maybe a whole 55-gallon barrel of KY or something like that? What's the weirdest interaction you've ever had buying something like that? It's like, no, I need a lot of Vaseline. We have it, sir. No, you don't understand. I'm here to buy all your Vaseline. So, Diddy, what's the weirdest reaction you've ever gotten? Too soon? Too soon?
I make my own slime, so,
Of course you do.
The rawest form is methyl cellulose. And you cook it on the stove. It's a very easy process. You can look it up online. I make my own slime. Except for Ultra Slime, which is a name brand that's really popular with the feature films.
Ultra slime.
Ultra slime.
Like on the Kids Network, there was that show that used to they slime kids. Yeah.
Kids' Choice Awards.
Yeah, if you know what that show is, it's time for your colonoscopy.
Right. Scheduled for
I
next
get
Tuesday.
mine every 5 years. But I knew how
5
to-
years, rain or shine.
I have a display of all the polyps they removed on my mantelpiece.
I did not mean for that to go that way.
All right, we're wrapping up, right? Uh-oh. Who is this? It's changed since we've been here. Look at it. There's back to what we're saying, and now I'm a little closer. There's more green in this than I thought there was going to be. It's so
A little green around his eyes.
it pops.
Yeah, a little color.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. Look, oh my God, yeah, John's been taking selfies like a sorority girl the whole time. So you got to go up. If I've learned anything, first of all, you got to do duck lips as Grandpa. Can you do this, John? Well, hold on, I'll show you in a second. Do you have a question all the way in the back? There you go. There you go, duck lips. There you go. And we got to do it up like this.
Hey, John, up there, are you doing all right?
You doing okay, John? He's doing great.
Yeah, I'm fine.
This is going to probably be our last question. Go.
All right, when you was 19 years old, did you ever think it would go this far?
Did you ever think it'd go this far? The
I
answer.
think I was 19 because that was published somewhere, but I was actually much older. I was 20 years old.
Oh, much older.
Excuse the shit out of you, right?
I used to go watch the dailies occasionally, the rushes, and we go to an editing house called the Shootout in Austin, Texas, and we watched them on a steam deck, which was at the time was a state-of-the-art editing tape for film, and it would sync up the sound tape and the film, and film, and it would run through like a TV screen sort of thing. And Toby was taping off the screen around the edges with black gaffer's tape. I said, Toby, what are you doing? And he goes, I want to see what it's going to look like when they cut it down for television. And I started laughing. I said, like this is ever going to be on TV. And he got kind of ticked off at me. Well, he was easily ticked off, but
Some answers no.
yeah. So I thought, inside I was thinking, they think this piece of shit's gonna get on television. They got another thing coming. I didn't realize how talented we all were.
And with that, I hate to end this, but can you all stand up? We're going to get your pictures real quick. I want you all to stand up and give a huge round of applause to Joe, to John, to Stephen. This has been an absolute pleasure.